Today, well, while we wait for winter to slowly crawl out of here, I guess I could say the same thing for our pandemic. It's a good time to, think about stuff, plan. Planning's pretty huge. I always have an easier time building from a plan as opposed to just walking in and willy-nilly figuring things out. Obviously, some of the projects planned are big enough that we need to come up with a list of material, that sort of thing. Plus, in a previous video, as I talked about, wood sourcing is definitely a top priority. So I looked at the most recent 2x4 price, $7.20, and that's I think about a week after my last video talking about it. So that's top priority. It appears that demand is not going to relent anytime soon, and we're going to come into the building season, and the worst possible outcome would be that prices are either prohibitively expensive and we've got to change plans, or the wood's not available at all, which is a definite problem, possibility as well. So in light of that, we've been spending weekends up at the cabin and changing some plans, I guess. You spend some time in a spot and decide, hey, maybe bunky, not such a good idea over here, perhaps this spot over here, and that's what we've been thinking. As a result, the plans have changed a little bit too, so I'm going through a number of design changes because I need to come up with a bill of materials, particularly for the wood, in order to get that purchased, and I can just sit on it until the good weather comes. So that's one thing. Another thing that I've been doing is sourcing bits and pieces for the electrical system. Obviously everything is in an order here. Electrical is top priority. Without electricity, can't use power tools, etc., etc. So an example of the planning is just doing a number of small schematics for certain things within the electrical, like the full electrical plan. For example, the fan turn-on circuit. I think I mentioned it in a previous video, but you'd be using a relay. So I'll just quickly demonstrate that. So what a relay does is, when power is applied to it, in this case 120 volts, this coil is energized and it snaps these two shut. It's pretty cool, actually. So what I have designed is the fan in the generator box. How do we get it to turn on automatically depending on what conditions are present? So for example, I purchased a thermostat. Let's say the thermostat is this box, and it's got a readout as seen in the previous video. It has a switch inside it, or two switches. You can either cool or you can heat, depending on what your application is. So in this case, I want to cool. So we need, this, I guess we have a merit here tying everything in, and we have another merit tying the hot wire in. So we need one hot wire to go to here, we need another hot wire to go here, and a third. No, I guess that's it for now. Let me get caught up. So now we've powered, this has come from the inverter, 120 volts AC from the inverter. Bear with me. So this has a internal switch right there, and this right here will come down to this pole. I will go out there. So here's the deal. I think this is it. This fan will turn on if this reaches a certain temperature. So that we'll close the circuit. Boom, fan comes on. The other thing is this will be plugged into the generator. So, boom, suddenly the generator livens this up, snaps this shut, fan turns on. So this is an either or condition. Either the generator turns on or that tells it to turn on. I can program that heat, so that's, say, 40 Celsius, for example. I'm not yet sure where we'll end up, but this is just one example of things that I've been doing. Another, and it's considerably more complex, is also using relays. These are great little inventions. So many things, magical little things. So this is for a DC circuit, and I'm going to use a pair of these to come up with logic that will automatically turn the Westinghouse generator on if certain conditions are met. Now, I do have help with a unit called an AGS-N from Magnum Energy. I don't have that with me here, but there's a number of relays inside that unit as well, and the logic comes from the system itself, but I need to do all the wiring within the generator. And on that generator, there's not only the start switch that has to be accessed, but there's a snap switch as well, which is like on-off. So I need to tap into both of those. So yeah, those are things that I'm doing now, and that's how I'm passing these winter blues days away. So I picked up a bunch of steel drums. A friend of mine who owns a factory that makes granola bars happened to catch wind of one of my conversations about building a dock out in the middle of the lake, and said, hey, I've got barrels. They're steel, which is, you know, a bit of a bummer. They'll definitely rust. But, you know, the roads are green around here. Hey, once they do rust, 4 or 5 years time, perhaps I can just get a bunch more from that same friend. Thanks, Elder. Anyway, our part of the lake, it's unfortunate. The part of the lake we're on is really shallow and weedy, not very conducive to swimming. So I wanted to build something that we could tow out to the middle of the lake and anchor and swim from there. And having a whole bunch of free barrels is definitely going to help with that. So, you know, when you see a 55-gallon drum of something, you think, ew, toxic waste. Well, these barrels contain nothing but non-GMO organic honey. Nothing dangerous about that.